Test, test, test. Here we go.
You're listening to the Ranked Podcast, where your hosts, Nick Norris, Aaron Patterson, and Justin Knight, are on the hunt for the most iconic year in sports history.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Ranked Podcast. And today we are going way back in time, the grand old year of 1927.
Yeah, I was 5 years old.
Like, what'd you say?
I was 5 years old that year.
You was 5 years old that year. How old does that make you? 300, 102, 170.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Well, let's talk about 1927. Let's paint the scene here, if you don't mind me doing so, Aaron. If you don't mind.
Nope, not at all.
So prohibition is in full effect. It sounds like an awful time for everyone, and everyone hates it. Men are mostly either really small and underfed, or they're huge bulking barrels of men who only eat milk and steak. I feel like that's the only people that existed in the 20s and 30s.
Sounds like that came from a reliable source.
And everyone dies at 35 from smoking 300 cigarettes a day. And Henry Ford has just announced the Model A, and work begins on Mount Rushmore. Yeah, so how about to paint the scene a little bit more, Aaron, do you have some interesting inventions you'd like to share? I thought we'd start doing this at the beginning.
Well, you already mentioned the Model A, the Model T's replacement, and then Edward Perkins invented the fruit smack. Hold on.
Fruit snacks.
No, okay. It's called fruit smack. I thought I had had a little typo there, but I was in fact correct. I just confused myself because I wrote this like 2 weeks ago. Anyways, Edward Perkins invented fruit smack, now known as Kool-Aid.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's a big invention.
Yeah.
Polyester, a tough, durable type of plastic, was invented then, apparently,
very
according
nice.
to Google.
Polyester.
The earliest known use of the phrase "trick or treat" was came to a small town in Alberta, Canada.
Oh, cool.
Sliced bread. Well, not exactly, but the first automatic commercial bread slicer was invented by Otto Frederick Rodweller.
Good on him.
Yeah, what a good guy.
Jukebox.
And now today we all have bread slicers in our home, so that's
Yeah.
one that stuck with us. Yeah.
Jukebox. The first selective jukebox was introduced by Automated Music Instrument Company.
Thank you, Aaron, for that. So now that the scene is set for 1927, an awful time, let's dive into the sports of that year. And it's a lot of baseball, I'll be honest. So that's all there was really 1927. There's people watching baseball, eating a leg of ham probably.
Yeah,
So here we go. 19 January 1st.
Can
we
you
had the
imagine the
13th
next time you go to like Disney World or something, instead of a turkey leg, they just got a freaking lamb quarters right there? It'd be insane.
It'd be great, but it'd be delicious.
Probably would be.
January 1st, we had the 13th Rose Bowl. Stanford tied with Alabama, 7-all.
Disgusting.
Yep. College. This was the year. I also want to throw this in there. College football back then was just the Wild West. If you felt like you earned the national championship, great, it was yours. Nobody really contested it. Multiple people could claim it. And in 1927, there were 4 teams who claimed the national championship. Illinois, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Yale all said, yeah, I think we're the national champions. And everybody just said, okay, sure. January 7th, this is a big one. The Harlem Globetrotters played their first ever game. January 12th, Gus Comstock, Coffee. Oh, no, I'm going to save this one. Actually, Aaron, I think you're going to talk about.
I was until I forgot to add that to this list. I just have Coffee Guy in all caps, so I could go back and
Okay.
read.
Well, I'll
read
knock
it,
it out
but,
then. I've got it.
Yeah,
got it
you
here.
just go ahead.
On January 12th, Gus Comstock, a coffee-drinking pride of Minnesota, again gulped his way into the national championship, downing 85 cupfuls, 8-ounce size, in 7 hours and 15 minutes. All told, he drank more than 5 gallons of coffee.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
They had a doctor come and check him out. They said he was fine,
I
but
was
he
about to say-
had a little fever.
He had to be crapping for who knows how many days straight.
Yeah, I think that me and Aaron looked it up, and maybe that's a lethal dose for the normal man, but for him it was
Jeez.
it's just he's okay.
Just
I
normal.
think we said he would have had to have weighed like 320 pounds in order to not be a lethal dose
Not be
or
lethal.
something. I
Mm.
don't
Yeah,
know.
we
I was
talked
planning
about
on
that.
having all those calculations done because they were pretty crazy, but I didn't write them down, and this was a last minute thing. So
Well, on March 4th, and this is a name that we're going to hear throughout the episode, Babe Ruth becomes the highest paid player in MLB history when he signs a 3-year, $70,000 per season contract with the New York Yankees. And Justin, while
that's
you
pretty good
are,
even for these days.
Yeah, if you want to
Yeah.
read through April, Justin, I'll look up what that translates to for today.
Okay, so April 5th, swimmer Johnny Weissmuller sets record in 100 and 200 meter freestyle. So good on Johnny. April 13th, you had the Stanley Cup final, Ottawa Auditorium in Ottawa, Ontario. The Ottawa Senators beat Boston Bruins. Sorry, Aaron. I know you're a Penguins fan. Never mind.
Yeah.
Kind of both. 3-1 for a 2-0-2 series win. Okay, and April 15th, our guy Babe Ruth hit his first home run of the season, where he hit 60 home runs, which was a record back then, in a 154-game season. And he did it against A's Howard Imick in the first inning on a 6-3 win over Philadelphia.
I've
April
got that number too, Justin. I'll throw it out here real quick.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
70,000 a year in 1927. That's worth a little over. It's about 1.1 million today.
That's actually terrible.
So that's what he was making back then. But you got to
What
think.
is the average contract?
But think back then, there was no TV contracts. You were just
Yeah.
all the money that these teams made were off tickets and merch, and mostly just tickets. So
Yeah, most of the tickets.
pretty good. Means he was a big draw.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still be happy with a $70K a year right now.
Seriously,
Yeah.
yeah. That's great. And then
Yeah,
last
please
thing,
continue.
April 18th, the 31st Boston Marathon was won by Clarence DeMar in his 2 hour, 40 minutes, and 22 seconds. It was his 5th victory in the Boston Marathon. So, way to go, Clarence.
Oh, way to go, Clarence. I'm sure you're dead, but way to go. Aaron, you
Jeez.
want to continue in May?
May 17th, the Chicago Cubs beat the Boston Braves 4-3 in 22 innings.
It's a long game.
Especially for it just to
Seriously.
be 4-3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
May 30th, Walter Johnson records the 110th and final shutout of his Baseball Hall of Fame career, the most in MLB history.
It's a lot of
Very
shutouts.
nice.
May 31st, the Detroit Tiger first baseman Johnny Nunn makes an unassisted triple play.
Jeez.
June
like to see
23rd, New York future Baseball Hall of Fame first baseman. Wow, that was a mouthful right there. Lou Gehrig hits 3 home runs in Yankees' 11-4 victory over Boston Red Sox at Fenway
Nice.
Park.
Do you think that Lou Gehrig is more famous for his baseball
Disease,
career or
yes.
his disease? Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah, but-
unfortunate, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It really
was
is,
probably-
especially when you're a freaking Hall of Famer. So
Yeah.
Yeah. The
But
greatest
probably
of all time.
one of the best speeches, though, of all time. One of my favorites is a speech he gave when he found out he had the disease and he was retiring.
Who was the player that, I feel like from around that era, that died in a plane crash?
In a plane crash around that area? I mean,
I don't know I mean, it was like
Probably a lot.
either the golden or silver age. But it was, I remember because in school, like, it would happen every like 3 years. You'd learn about Lou Gehrig and Lou Gehrig's disease, and you'd learn about another player and his plane crash. I can't remember who it was. Anyway,
Let me
Hey,
stop.
why
I'll
don't
look it up.
you be prepared for the episode and look this up beforehand?
maybe it was Lou Gehrig. Maybe he got the disease and then died in a
Jeez.
plane crash.
That's
That'd be
awful.
terrible. July 2nd, Wimbledon's women's tennis. Helen Wills Moody beat Spaniard Lily Alvarez 6-2, 6-4 for her first of 8 Wimbledon titles. On July 15th, British Open men's golf, St. Andrews, the American golf legend Bobby Jones retains his title, wins wire to wire by 6 shots from Fred Robson and Aubrey Boomer. July
You
18th,
would
another
not
big name.
believe how many baseball players have died in plane crashes.
Yeah, there's been a
Jeez.
bunch.
Really?
I was just looking it up
A
too.
lot. Oh, wow. We'll go through that in just a second.
Yeah, the most recent was Roy Halladay. He's I think he's in
Tyson
the Hall.
Brumlett, Roberto Clemente,
Clemente, yeah, he's very well known.
Roy Halladay. Jeez. Marv
Well, that's
Goodwin,
Terrible.
Elmer. I'm not even gonna try.
Fudd?
When was World War II? What year?
Yeah, that was from
ended in
39 to
That's
45.
what I thought. So that's not the person you're thinking of. I don't know.
July 18th, Ty Cobb's 4,000th MLB career hit. Another
Nice.
big baseball name.
That's a
September
crazy
4th,
stat.
aviator Charles Lindbergh visits Boise, Idaho on his cross-country tour. Lindbergh, of course, he was a huge aviator, but he would later also become famous for kidnapping and killing his infant son. And then he also turned out to be a Nazi. So that was, yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I've
he's an awful
Never
awful
heard
person.
of the other two things that make him a horrible person. I've only
Oh,
known
yeah.
him for the.
The
I've only
Lin-
known him for the flying.
yeah,
Yeah,
'cause-
like after World War II, he like converted to a Nazi and killed his kid. It was crazy.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm pretty
uh,
sure when I was
September-
looking this up too, it said he was the most famous person in the entire world after that. Like after his
Oh yeah.
thing, like he was the most
Well,
popular
that was a
person.
huge deal, especially back then. Anyway, what were you saying, Justin?
I was just saying that was probably one of the more well-known, I guess, mysteries too that was going on around that time because he had set it up to make it look like it was somebody else.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. September 22nd, we had the long count in a famous boxing rematch. Jin Tunney beats Jack Dempsey by 10-round unanimous decision at Soldiers Field, Chicago, to retain the World Heavyweight title. In the 7th round, Dempsey knocked Tunney down for what turned out to be 13 seconds. The count started late, however, because Dempsey didn't go back to his own quarter immediately. Tunney went on to knock Dempsey down in the following round and win the fight by decision following the 10th round. This is the part that I found kind of interesting here, and it kind of goes along with what we're talking about with Babe Ruth's salary. But the crowd this night for this fight is 104,943.
Jeez.
The gate made, this is in 1927 money, the gate made $2,858,000. And that's like 44.6 million today, just at the gate.
It's
Yeah, I
pretty
mean, that's a
crazy.
huge crowd
Yeah.
for that time period too.
Yeah. Justin, if you'd like to knock out September and October for us, go right
Oh.
ahead.
Okay. Well, September 29th, once again, our guy Babe Ruth, he ties the MLB record by hitting grand slams in consecutive games against the Philadelphia A's and then the Washington Senators. And then right again, September 30th, he hit his 60th home run, record-breaking, off Tom Zachary in the 8th inning of their win against the Washington Senators. October 1st, the Pittsburgh Pirates, which included a team that would have 5 future Baseball Hall of Fame players. They clinched the NL pennant against the Cincinnati Reds, and then the next time that would happen was not until 1960. But then they go on to face the Yankees and would get swept. And the Yankees, that would be their That wasn't already the 24th World. Oh, in the 24th World Series. Sorry.
Very nice, very nice. So those are only the 24th World Series, so that's pretty still pretty early into the lifespan of the World Series there.
Yeah.
Aaron, you want to close out the year for us?
On October 11th, Lou Gehrig is named the American League MVP despite hitting an MLB record 60 home runs. Babe Ruth, since he was a former winner, is not eligible, which is kind of bullcrap.
Yeah.
October 17th, Van Johnson, founder of the American League in failing health, retires as the AL president, American League president. The National Football League on December 19th, New York Giants win first past the post title. What?
I think it's supposed to be that wins their first postseason title. That's what it's supposed to be there.
They went 11-1-1, so there you go.
Yeah, this would have predated obviously the Super Bowl, so this would have just
Gotcha.
been the NFL championship. Yeah, so very nice. Aaron, would you like to continue on with your records, or do you have them there? Because we threw them on you last second.
Yeah, I've got a lot, I think. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Oh, hold on.
Maybe pick like
Okay.
3 or 4 of the
Johnny
best ones.
Weissmuller set swim record in 100 and 200 meter freestyle. Babe Ruth hit 60th home runs. You already know that. Babe Ruth becomes the highest paid player. You already knew that. Walter Johnson records 110th and final. Okay, we already said that. That's cool. Lou Gehrig hits 3 home runs in Yankee. We already said that. That's awesome. Yankees set a record of 106 wins in a season. I don't think we said that.
Oh, very nice.
I guess that's it.
Great.
I felt like there was one
Justin.
more that was super interesting. Maybe that was a different year.
Well, while Justin tells us the famous birthdays and deaths that year, maybe you can double check and make sure. You don't mind, Justin.
It was the one that we said in 2003, but we were confused because there was the same baseball player with the same name.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's interesting.
So,
Yeah, Justin,
anyways, never mind. Go
last week we did 2003, and we had the scripts for 2003 and 1927 both already typed up. And Aaron had put one stat in for 2003 that he thought was from 1927, and he asked me to look up the player while we were recording the show. There was a player in 1927 and 2003 with the exact same name that both played in the MLB. So we were just like,
Jeez.
we don't know. It could be either year.
So for
That's
those of you who
strange.
may not have heard it, it was Bill Mueller becomes the only player in Major League history to hit 2 grand slams from opposite sides of the plate. And he hit
Ah,
3
cool.
home runs in that game.
Yeah.
And the grand slams were in consecutive at-bats.
And that was 2003, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Either
we'll never
way,
know.
It's
No way to tell.
It's incredibly
Yeah.
impressive either way.
Yeah, really.
Well, Justin, tell us some birthdays and deaths from this year.
Okay, so famous sports announcer Vin Scully was born. He announced for the Dodgers for a very long time. Very well known and very loved by a lot, and he retired a few years ago. Soccer player Fernrick Puskas. No idea.
You nailed
great,
it. Yeah, that sounds perfect.
great on him. Baseball manager Tommy Lasorda, who's also a famous manager for the Dodgers, and had passed away this. I think it was earlier this year. He was a
Yeah.
well-known player and a great manager as well for a long time for the Dodgers. And then football player Dick Lang. And then our deaths, we had young Corbett II, which is William J. Rothwell. He was an American boxer. He won the world featherweight champion. He was world featherweight champion 1901, 1902, and he died at the age of 46. Here's another tough one. Ottavio Baraccia, Italian cyclist, the first Italian winner of the Tour de France. And he died at the young age of 32.
That's a couple young deaths there. I mean, I know it's 27. People are smoking like crazy, but
Yeah.
those are guys that are athletes. So that's
So pretty young.
sucks.
Yeah.
Too early. Too young. Well, I think we will then. I've got my weird news story, and then we can decide where this year falls in the rankings. So if you don't mind, I think I've got. Okay, yeah, it's just the one story, but it's a pretty good one. So as I mentioned earlier, Prohibition was in full swing in 1927, and obviously there's a lot of bootlegging go around. People were making their own liquor, right? But one thing the U.S. government tried to do to stop people from drinking illegally was to just poison them, to poison their own people.
There you go. That'll do it.
So, potable alcohol was so hard to come by during Prohibition that people often resorted to drinking industrial alcohol, like the kinds used to disinfect wounds. The only way to get your hands on it, however, was to steal it. Eventually, the U.S. government got so fed up with the level of alcohol theft that it began poisoning its own supply to render it fatal if consumed. By 1927, or mid-1927, the new formulas included some notable poisons: kerosene, brucine, gasoline, it goes on and on, iodine, zinc, mercury, formaldehyde, chloroform, nicotine,
God.
camphor, carboxylic acid. I mean, and the list continues. I'm not going to read
Could
them
you
all.
imagine if we did something like that today?
Oh, I mean, it
All
would be.
hell
seriously.
would break loose. There would
Yeah.
be lawsuits. Like, it doesn't matter like if they stole it or not. It would be. It would be crazy. Like there would be no repercussions. You could steal something and then sue them for putting fatal things in it and become a millionaire
Yeah.
because you stole something.
Right.
Like, that would just never fly today.
Well, they started putting the poisons in 1927, but by 1933, the poisoned alcohol had killed nearly 10,000 people. What became known as the Chemists' War of Prohibition. I thought that was an insane story.
That's awesome.
Jeez.
10,000 people that the U.S. government just killed by poisoning their own supply.
That's pretty crazy.
Wild.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild to
Yeah.
think that the government did it though.
Yeah. And we're okay with it.
I mean that part's a little like, eh. But, if it was just somebody else, like their private company or whatever, it sounds awesome. Good.
Well, it's time that we rank, 1927. So, real quickly, we do this on a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being the perfect year, which we have not found, obviously, we probably won't, and 1 being the absolute worst year. And it can fall anywhere on that scale. We can have a year's tie or whatever, but so far what we've got in order, 2016 is in the lead, still barely, with 91 points. This is the year that included Kobe's last game, the Olympics, some more memorable moments. Right behind it, we have 1980. That included the Miracle on Ice. That was a big event from that year. Ranking at 72, we have 1991. And then ranking at 63, we have 2003. I think this is better than 2003, which is our
I
lowest.
think it's way worse.
Oh,
If
wow.
we were
really?
If we were talking about baseball, this would be an 86. But we're
Yeah.
ranking all sports, and there's nothing.
That's
So I'm
true.
going with a 32.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? That's a good point. This isn't. Yeah, this is very
Did we
American
name
based
one
too.
basketball
this is American
thing?
basketball.
Did we name one football thing?
No.
named
Yes, we named
football.
The
Oh,
Rose Bowl. We named the Rose Bowl. That's it.
Yeah,
We
no
named
basketball. Because
Well,
basketball
that's
really
okay.
wasn't a big
the
thing yet.
Globetrotters. That's all we named.
Yeah.
The fact
the
that I can
Globetrotters.
remember exactly the one things that we said from all other sports, I rest my case.
so
If this was Babe Ruth's year, it would be a 99 or
Yeah.
an 86 if it was just baseball, but it's a 32
Yeah.
at best.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I didn't even think about that.
Even if we
So,
were going off inventions, it would be better. I named like 17 inventions.
Yeah,
That were
inventions. That's
very
great.
essential, but no, we're talking
Yeah.
about sports, and this was crap.
I don't know
So
if
what
I'd
we
give it a
thinking?
32. I mean, that's kind of brutal.
We even
But
put
I'll-
2003 as a 60-something. It was literally titled The Cursed Year. or whatever. We need to start getting a little more real on these. There's no way that should have even been a 60-something.
But it was still some iconic moment. It's iconic. So
I mean, there's
some
iconic
stuff.
moments in 27, but about 4 of them, and they're all by the same person in the same sport.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 52.
Okay, wow. Yeah, I was gonna say that it's higher than 2003, but that's a good point, Aaron. It's not, because it's high. It's very high in baseball. It's probably about as high in baseball as you can get, but that's it.
I'm sticking with my 32.
So you said 32, Justin. What did you say?
52.
Just do a 42, and we'll call it a 42.
Great. I'll say 42, and we'll call
Awesome.
it a 42.
That's great.
There you go.
So 1927, our lowest year yet. Some people consider this one of the best years in sports history.
Yeah,
But,
well, those people
no
were
way.
probably born in 1927. So
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's probably a great sports year because when you think about it at that time, baseball was the major sport. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what baseball, and then I guess boxing was really big around
if we were
this
just
time
talking
as
about
well.
baseball, I'd rank it at 86. If we were talking about Babe Ruth, I'd rate it at 99. But
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's.
Yeah, I mean, this was. I mean, you had guys like you said, Lou Gehrig, Ty Cobb too, right? Babe Ruth. I mean, so those are all baseball legends. So I mean, yeah, if it was baseball, I'd give it probably a 90. It would be at like middle 90s. So, but yeah, I mean, wasn't many other sports that were as popular as baseball was at the time.
Well, next week we'll be back to talk 1974, and this is one I'm really excited about because we're going to get to talk about 10-cent beer night, which it's going to be a good story that I'm ready to tell for you guys. So, well, if you want to reach the show, if you want to recommend a year you want to tell us to look into, maybe a year with a ton of action-packed stuff, maybe a year with absolutely nothing happening.
also tell us if we ever missed anything, and tell us how big of idiots we are.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, because we are constantly getting things wrong. Less so now. Now, if we get something wrong, I pull it off from like onthisday.com. So if we're wrong, usually they're wrong. But those first couple episodes, I just took the facts, and tried to find them myself, and it was a nightmare.
Yeah,
But if you want
to
reach us, you can reach us at the rankedsportspod@gmail.com. If you want to, give us a follow on Instagram and Facebook at rankedsportspod. And leave a nice review and subscribe if you don't mind. But thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with 1974.
All right.
Adios.
See y'all later.
Test, test, test. Here we go.
You've been listening to Ranked, the most iconic year in sports history. Please remember to like and subscribe.